I see this a lot, like people that are introvert, including myself, like I consider myself an introvert,
Yeah,
right? A lot
Yeah.
of people think that, when they're introverts, that they can't really move far in terms of
yeah,
business.
that's right. Yeah,
They think that, they have to be extroverts, they have to be like, a
Mm.
people person, they have to
yeah,
talk and everything like that. And they feel like they always have to change in order to, actually like tap into the market and succeed. But someone told me this one time, and sticks to me. It's like, be yourself, and that's like the greatest strength,
Yeah.
right? When you like be yourself in every part of your life, whether it comes business, personal, relationships,
yeah, yeah.
it's just like it's who you are,
That's
embracing
right.
who you are. And even even as introverts, like people can go far in their own business, in
Yeah,
their own specific way. Every journey is kind of different, right? So that kind of like stuck out to me, because like for a long time, because I was in the business of marketing and everything like that, I felt like, I had to like be really loud. I had to like, talk. I had to like, communicate and like
yeah,
stuff like that. And then, that was like a big wake up call. It's like, I just got to be myself. And, it attracts people, people like trust you more. And, that's pretty much what I learned.
yeah. And proving the doubters wrong too. I'm sure a lot of people they think like introverts, like you said, they can't go far or they can't do certain things in life, but that's not true. You can do whatever you want to do. As long as you like keep your mind to it and never give up. Also having that supporting cast behind you too. Choose the right friends and stuff. Of course, down the line you'll see like you'll have friends from high school that will doubt you as well, right? Like they'll tell you like you will never do this. Like I have a lot of doubters that when I started the podcast, like,
Yeah.
oh man, like in high school you were such a quiet guy. It's like I don't know how you're gonna even manage to move forward with the podcast. I was like, just wait and see.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And now you're at, what, sixth episode?
Yeah, well, this is the seventh one right now
Seven.
today.
Nice. Like one
So
hasn't been released yet, right? I think I saw the preview.
the one we did midweek last week, yeah, it hasn't been released. I'm still editing it, and I don't know if you know the guy Ahmed Rahimi. He does. Me and him was just talking about the stock market and the Federal Reserves, the Reddit community versus the hedge funds.
Oh, are you guys? Oh yeah, I actually see your stories every day.
Yeah,
Posting about your stocks.
like I love the hype, man. I love the troll, all those memes and stuff.
The
Like it
memes,
makes me
yeah.
happy, man.
Yeah.
Finally, somebody like
The meme community, yeah, it's very interesting how the meme community really took a big toll in
big
terms
tool.
of
Yeah,
the stock market this year. So it's interesting, especially Reddit. It's just blowing up, and everybody's just following the trends.
yeah, like that.
Oh,
The Wall Street bets, the guy in Reddit, like before all this hype and this whole thing that happened,
Mm-hmm.
he only had like 500,000 followers. Now he's like at 10 million within like a month.
Everybody's just
That
hopping on the bandwagon.
yeah, pretty much. So it's interesting to see, but yeah, that episode's coming out in a few days.
Nice. Yeah, I recently got into investing as well. I jumped the hype, and then one of my friends, he's a YouTuber. He
Yeah.
does like he talks about investing and everything like that. And
Oh,
then
you should bring him in, man.
yeah, for sure. I think he'd love that for sure.
Does he live here? Or
Yeah, he does.
okay.
Yeah,
oh,
he's got a
nice.
YouTube channel called
Yeah.
Halal Investing.
That
Halal
sounds
investing.
familiar.
Halal Investing, and then
Yes,
basically
sure.
like he posts pretty regularly, like every week,
Yeah.
one new episode. He talks
Wow.
about his projections and all that stuff. Yeah, definitely like connect
Yeah,
you
we should-
guys.
Yeah, definitely like
Yeah, man. We just we love to have like people that's like
open-minded too, not unbiased opinions, and go from there. But,
Nice.
but yeah, how did you get started with the digital egg?
So
Are you the founder or?
yeah,
Okay,
so
nice.
so the interesting thing, it's like a long story, and then I'll tell like a brief story about it.
Yeah.
But pretty much, when I was like around 16 years old, I was really interested into like entrepreneurship and everything like that. And at that time, I was watching a lot of Shark Tank, Dragons Den. Like you've been seeing like all these
I love
people.
Dragons Den, man.
Yeah, like you've been seeing all these people come up with ideas, and you're like, hey, like why didn't I think of that, right? So that was like, I think, the first spark in terms of my entrepreneurship journey. It's like, I see these people coming with ideas, making their dreams happen, come true, and then I'm like, okay, I kind of want to kind of follow that footstep.
Yeah.
My family, like, as an Afghan family, Abdul, you probably know, like, education's like a high
Yeah.
priority, right? And in an Afghan household, it's like either you got to become a doctor, you get
Engineer.
engineer, a
Yeah.
lawyer, something like that, right? And when I told my family, like, hey, I want to go into business, they're like, business? Like, what's business? Like, you don't need a degree. Just have to go to college and, like, that's it, right? So for my family, they wanted me to, go to university, then do something after that, like a post,
Yeah.
uh, like a master's, and then get a PhD or
PhD.
something like
Yeah.
that. And then for me, my whole vision was completely something else. And at that age, it was like, okay, I have like a few years to kind of prove to my family, like, I can kind of do something in the business field. So I started like learning graphic design and whatnot, and then there was a class that I did really well in. It was IT graphic design class. So after I finished that class, I got like a A plus. I got an A plus in that class, and then I said, okay, I think I'm ready to go into like the real business world and really sell my services, because I thought I was I was really good in graphic design, and
Yeah.
I could make designs, logos, all that stuff easy, right? I was kind of negligent, like I was very overconfident at that time with my skills. I found a company and that needed some help with some flyer designing and all that stuff. So I quickly, created a company name for myself. It was really horrible. Now that I look back at it, maybe I can send you the visuals and you can like pop them in there and kind
Yeah.
of see like
Yeah.
my
Send it to
journey.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first company I started was called Budget Marketing Services. And the name says it itself. It was like, really budget. It was like cheap, and everything was really poorly done, executed. So I got my first contract when I was like 16 years old.
Nice.
The guy looked at me. He saw like, that I was really young. Wasn't too confident in me, but I said, hey, don't worry. He's like, I'll send you a proof design. If you like it, pay for it. If you don't like it, like that's fine. Like, we can, you don't have to buy it. So then, I spent a few hours designing it. I was really happy with the design. I sent it over to him. He looks at it, like, and then doesn't even reply back to my email. He just ghosts me completely, right?
Oh.
He just ghosts me. I kept like messaging him like, hey, what's up? And he just like, yeah, we don't like the design, period. And I think that was like the biggest wake up call for me at that time. It was like, okay, um, like I have to like put time into myself. I have to like, go back, learn more into the field, learn more into the trade, and then come out, right? That was, I guess, my first biggest failure when it came to business. And after that, I've had many more as well. But I've come to kind of appreciate those failures and kind of take them as like life lessons
Yeah.
as to getting better,
Yeah.
right? Along the way in my entrepreneur journey, like I right now I wouldn't say myself as successful. I'm still in the growing phase, but I've had many failures, and as to which I've gotten better. And that's something that I appreciate. A lot of people, I know, they're afraid of failures, and they should be, but again, it's the attitude of to overcoming it, right? So that summer I spent a lot of time, watching YouTube videos, like learning everything online as I
Yeah.
could as to graphic design. And the next project that came about, I became far better, and actually, got the client. It was like a furniture company. That company was really happy with my work, and then the
Yeah.
next question was, hey, do you make websites? In the back of my head, I'm like, no, I've never made a website before, right? But on the other side, it's like, okay, it's a contract. Like, why am I gonna let this down, right? I said, yeah, no worries, I can make websites too. So then same thing again. I spent like a good 1 week on YouTube learning how to make websites,
Websites.
everything like
Yeah.
that,
It's
everything like
always the
that.
best place, man.
Yeah, right now, like it surprised me like how people like managed like back in the day without like technology, without
Technology. Yeah.
YouTube, without like Google, like how hard life is, right? Like
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now, like even GPS, like we take it for granted how easy it is to just go on Google Maps. Back in the day, I remember like my parents just taking out a big paper
Paper map.
map,
Yeah.
opening it up like just in front of us, so it's like we've gone very far, right? And I guess that kind of started my journey is as to um, just self-teaching myself along the way. Next came websites. After that came like SEO. After that came social media. So everything was more of like a self-learning process. And it came to a point where as my family kind of saw how hard I was working
Yeah.
in terms of my business, in terms of everything, and they were like, okay, and to back it up, I won like a few awards as well. So that was like
Oh,
enough
nice,
for my
nice.
family to kind of see that I would be okay in this field of work, even if
It's
they
a
let
real
me.
thing, yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of had to prove it, but at the end of the day they were happy with letting me go to business school. And right now I'm actually still at SFU finishing my degree. So I'm kind of in between school and work, doing school part-time, trying to finish my degree for my family for sure. But yeah,
Yeah.
regardless, I think it's still definitely a good asset to have, going to school and getting your degree in whatever field that you want to go with. So that's definitely a big change for me. Yeah.
So, yeah. So when you talk about entrepreneur, like, was digital marketing your like, uh, what made you get into digital marketing though?
Yeah.
Were you were you a big, or was it just like randomly you just got into it, or you had the passion from before?
Yeah, so for me at that specific time, it's like, hey, I want to start a business. I want
Yeah.
to start a business with low risk. Like I'm 16, 17, I have no money,
I
right?
don't know.
Like
Yeah.
what would be the best thing that I can start off with at this age, at this time, and with the capital that I don't have, right?
Yeah.
And at that time I was very like computer tech savvy.
Oh, okay,
So
okay, I
so
see.
I was good with computers, like I knew a thing or two. So I kind of used that strength that I had, and I said, okay, let me kind of work on this a little bit more and get into the marketing side of
Marketing, yeah.
things. As I fell into marketing, my passion for it kind of grew more and more. And till this day, I absolutely love my job. Every day, it's like different. It's not the same as yesterday. We work with new clients. We learn their industry. So in a way, it's like instead of having one business, it's like I feel like I'm having like 20, 30 businesses.
Yeah.
Every day, I'm working with a new business. And that's something about me I find is like when I'm doing something repetitive over and over, and I've had like jobs where I was working in an office and stuff, right? And I felt like that 9 to 5 job style just wasn't for me. It's like doing the same thing over and over and over
Yeah.
again. And with my job, like thankfully, like that's not the case. Every day it's like something new, and that's something that I love absolutely.
Yeah, man. Don't even talk 9 to 5, man. That's
If
so boring, man.
if I asked like how many businesses have you like made so far, like
So
stats, like
yeah, so
let's get to the numbers.
I've had a lot of businesses, and I'd say like people would call them as failures. I would definitely say they were failures, but they were, I guess, stepping paths as to going to where I am today. So altogether, I've probably done about five.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, since I was 16 years old, I started out with budget marketing services. I worked on a year or so. I created an app company called Easy Guide Retail, and it was
Is it
indoor.
still
It was an indoor GPS.
is it
Not
still active or
no,
no? Okay, okay.
no. I stopped paying the fees and stuff
Oh,
because
I
you
see,
gotta
see.
pay app store fees, iOS, and like all that sort of stuff. So it was a indoor GPS system for retail stores. So this was in the phase when I was like really into Dragon's Den and stuff. I'm like, okay, let me think of a revolutionary idea where like I could pitch to like a couple people, get investment money.
Mm.
So I was like 17 years old. I created this. I didn't create the full version. I created like a demo version, where it was like an indoor GPS. Like you go to like Walmart, you're looking for like pasta, but instead of asking an employee, you can just go on your phone, punch in pasta, and it'll take you in
Take it
like
there.
like
That's
like
the
Google
aisle.
Maps.
Yeah.
Yeah, the aisle or something like that. Kind of
Oh,
makes the
okay.
whole process easy for shopping, and then
Oh
use
wow.
a lot of analytics and stuff. And analytics and data is really huge right now.
Yeah, it is
Mm.
big time.
Companies, they want to see like which aisles do people walk in more, and like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that stuff. And once we had that data, it's like a big deal, right, for them.
Oh, nice, nice.
So with that, I guess that I went to a couple like investment stuff. So I was a student. There was like a bunch of like student entrepreneurship competitions. I did well on some of those student entrepreneurship competitions, and then received funding to get started on it. Eventually, it became like really complicated. I was like 17 years old, didn't have enough capital, and this was a really big project that needed a lot of investment in terms of capital, data, security, everything like that. And then I was actually living back in Toronto when this project happened. So I moved over here, and once I moved over here, I kind of put a close to that chapter,
Yeah.
and just kind of moved on because it was just too hard to start off at that age, right? And then after that, I went back to my marketing company, started a new one called Pixel Solutions. And then at this point right now, um, we created Digital Egg. Just like you guys know, we also have an e-commerce photo lab company. So both company, I'm with I have a partner
Okay.
alongside with me, and he's been really great in terms of filling that other side that I lack. And I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs, they lack one specific side to them, whether it be like accounting or sales, or
Yeah.
it's like some sort of side. But he's definitely really helped me out with filling that gap. So we have a photo lab company, like a e-commerce. So we do a lot of print on demand stuff,
Oh, nice.
like art, print on t-shirts, mugs, and like a bunch of different stuff. So I have that e-commerce business on the side, as well as the digital leg that we're operating right now. So that's what we're doing.
For the people that are watching, like, you can tell them like what types of services does your company like provide
Yeah, for
besides like the printing stuff or
For digital egg, we're an A to Z in terms of marketing needs, in terms of digital media. So we make websites, we manage social media, we
yeah.
do photography, videography, SEO, Google Ads, and all sort of stuff. So we have a team of 6 individuals that work with us, and we have a special person to handle different parts of your needs when it comes to your marketing
Yeah,
and
you
all
know
that
why I
sort of
like
stuff.
digital egg? Like that's it's a smart idea because it's almost like a one-stop shop kind of thing for a business. If they want to get their website done, if they have a next project, they can stay with digital egg. Because
Exactly.
there's a lot of like SMME companies that just do focus on social media and websites and SEOs, as you know, right?
Yeah, and that's something that we identified. We saw that once people want to work with us,
Yeah,
they don't want to work with other companies for like
yeah,
other small tasks.
yeah,
So we grew out our team to make sure that we could accommodate all the services that they need, even the business printing. Like, we noticed that people wanted flyers and
brochures and stuff. Yeah,
brochures, signs, all that sort of stuff.
yeah,
We introduced that stuff as well, right? So we can all do it in house, and it makes it easy for them.
nice, nice.
And then on the other side of the business, right, the printing business, it's called Vancouver Photo Lab.
Yeah, yeah.
So Vancouver Photo Lab, they do printing on demand. We
Mm-hmm.
print custom canvases. So you submit your own photo, we can make into canvas.
Canvas.
Photo prints, we can print it on metal, aluminum, a lot of different stuff, you know.
Nice, nice. Is there something you guys don't do?
Yeah, like pretty much
You print like on anything, right? Apparels and
Girls.
apparels. Yeah, the types of
Ma-
printers that we have, we made sure that we could pretty much print on anything that you ask for: wood,
Okay.
metal.
and there's different
Aluminum.
types of printing, like there's screen printing, there's like digital printing.
Sewing printing. You guys.
We don't do the sewing. That answered their question. We don't do the sewing.
No one knows what printing.
That's
Yeah.
that's too old school.
Too old school.
It's coming back though. A lot of people are,
Yeah.
are liking the sewn embroidery
Yeah.
apparel. So that's something we haven't tapped into. But
A lot of
when we
labor
get
though,
more when
man.
we get more space, maybe we'll bring in more machines for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Back in the old day, man, you had the sewing machine, man.
I think my mom still has that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure every African household has it, man.
Yeah.
There's no way that no African household doesn't carry it. But yeah, you have any?
Um.
So
Go
like,
ahead. You go first.
because we know like digital marketing, like what maybe in the span of what 5-10 years, it's been growing like rapidly, right?
Yeah.
Because now you see like a lot of the brick and mortar companies, like they're going down. Like like very fast. And like companies like Shopify, Amazon, these guys are like on top, and I guess it comes back to like digital marketing. Like it's the big thing now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd say even to add to that with the pandemic,
Yeah, yeah,
a lot of people are, avoiding going to like actual physical stores. They want to do
yeah.
everything
So I
online,
don't know what the
right?
analytics is or the data, but I'm sure it's like over 70% people like doing online shopping, right?
100%. And
Yeah,
the biggest retail store in the world right now is Amazon.
Amazon. Yeah,
And back in the day, it was like, you'd see Walmart or all
yeah,
these big box stores, but right now it's been completely converted, right?
yeah, yeah,
into that. And even like when you see Netflix as well, with Blockbuster being gone and everything like
yeah.
that,
A lot of them.
everything is rapidly moving. And
Yeah,
as a digital media agency ourselves, we have to constantly be on top of the market in terms of what works in terms of bringing traffic to your business, whether it be your online store or whether it be your physical store. A lot of our restaurants that we work with right now, back in the day, they didn't have a website. And
yeah,
we talk with them, we say, okay, have a website. Right now they're making their websites into online order system websites, because things are changing,
yeah,
things
yeah.
are moving fast. People don't want to call in, place their order. They want to go on the website
Click of a
or
button.
the app,
Yeah,
just submit it,
yeah,
go there, pick it up, or have it delivered to them, right? So everything is changing. And when it comes to online marketing, businesses are slowly starting to realize that print marketing doesn't work as effectively as it did back in the day. Right now, I'm sure you guys can relate to when you get mail into like junk mail into your mail, right? You don't even look at it that
no,
much,
no,
right?
no.
You just put it aside into like one pile directly in the trash. And people are starting to realize, like, those type of stuff doesn't work as well as it did back in the
Back in
day.
the day, yeah,
Right now, the best thing that people could spend money on, and I'd highly recommend this to the audience, to the viewers, is spending money marketing online, whether it be Google ads, whether it be your social media ads, whether it be your SEO. it's
SEO, yeah,
it's this is something that you guys can actually track.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the greatest thing, versus print. You can't track as to, unless you have a coupon on the back, and kind of it's kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
complicated. But when it comes to online marketing, you actually have a lot of data you can track. You can see how many people click on it. You can see the age groups that kind of react better to your ads. And you can specifically find a niche when it comes to that, and really target and grow it out. So once you what for a lot of businesses, once they find that sweet spot, that age group, that demographic, that location,
yeah,
the gender, and the interest behaviors when it comes to
yeah.
finding their target audience online.
And based on that, yeah,
Once they find that sweet spot, they know how much money it costs for to acquire that client. They just can increase that budget amount, and acquire more clients at that specific amount. And
yeah,
it,
yeah,
it ultimately becomes a pattern for them. It makes it a lot easier. That's how a lot of e-commerce stores grow. It's finding that sweet spot, that target audience, and then
yeah,
growing.
yeah. Going back to the restaurant thing, funny you say that. 'Cause yesterday I was craving sushi, man. And I searched up sushi near where I work,
Yeah,
and I found one place. I click on it, no website. Guess what I did, man? I didn't even like bother eating sushi anymore. So I
exactly.
went to a different place that had a website. It shows you like how important like having a website is, man. Like you miss I don't know, probably 30-40%
Mm-hmm.
of that money you can bring in to the restaurant.
Yeah, for sure. You wanted to add something?
Yeah. Do you think having a website is proper way to have a business to
One
grow?
100%. Yeah. If you told me this like maybe 10 years ago, I would say like, hey, it's like maybe it's not essential, right? But right now, it's definitely very essential. And when it comes to website, it's not just that. Abdul, you brought like a great point. A lot of my clients, um, besides the website, having social media, it plays a big role as well.
Yeah,
So when clients, they find like a restaurant that they want to eat, they actually look for many things. Your Google reviews really
go,
matter,
yeah,
your website, your Instagram. And when you have your Instagram, have really nice pictures. And I can't stress this enough. I know a lot of restaurants out there that take pictures on their like potatoes, and then they just post it on their social media. And their food, it doesn't do justice. The pictures that they post doesn't do
Yeah.
justice for their food. The lighting's bad, and you know plays like a big
Big role.
psychological role in
So-
terms of, you know, do I want to eat out there? And that's something that I'd really suggest putting money into. And even when you're searching a restaurant on Google, you have many pictures that pop up on their business display. So I'd really recommend, you know, really working on that. So funny thing you mentioned, the restaurant's actually one of the fields that we started with Digital Egg,
Yeah, yeah.
hence the name Digital Egg. I wanted to start off with one specific niche. So I'd say majority of our clients right now is actually
Restaurants.
restaurants, food and hospitality industry. But again, we don't we will also work with other industries as well. But I'd say our biggest strengths right now is the food and hospitality.
So if somebody like from scratch wants to open like an online store, let's say they want to sell their own apparel or whatever. Like, what do you think their biggest step would be for them to like get their first sale? Like,
Right.
is it like the SEO? Is it? I'm sure there's other factors into it, but I'm just like naming stuff like SEOs. There's like having a good website, the structure of it, the outline, and everything.
Yeah. It's ultimately comes down to foundation. I know a
Yeah.
lot of my clients, you know, we build them like a really nice website, and you know, after a couple of months, they message me. They're like, "Hey, Yusuf, like, why am I not getting any clients? Like, you know, I have a good website. It's everybody says it's amazing, but why is this not translating into sales?" And that's the biggest misconception that a lot of businesses have is like, okay, we made a website. Now it's our business is online. We're gonna have like orders coming in like
Yeah.
instantly, right? But besides that, having a system as to bringing traffic is very important when it comes to your website, and that
Yeah.
goes back to what you mentioned. SEO is very important.
Yeah.
Social media is very important. You know, having a good like Google presence
Yeah.
is very important, and all that stuff tie back into the website.
Yeah.
So again, when you have a really perfect website, but nobody visits the website, it's no point.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same thing as having no website, basically, right? It makes no difference. When you make a really good website, you're gonna have to supplement and, you know, support it with really a lot of traffic and a lot of strategies to bring in traffic. Otherwise, there's no point whatsoever. So on the other hand, if you are bringing a lot of traffic in, but your website's very poor, again, you're getting leads, you're getting potential people to come in, but they won't convert as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they won't convert into a sale. Going back to your reference about the sushi restaurant, so they had a good Google SEO presence as to when you searched them up, you found them, and it was probably
Yeah.
the first result.
Yeah.
But because they didn't have a website, you know, you didn't give your business to them. Or
Yeah.
if they had a website, you go on it, but you saw that their website is very sketchy and it wasn't
Yeah.
really good, you probably wouldn't give your business to them. You'd
That's
go to
right,
the
yeah.
next one with is like a little bit more legit, right?
Yeah.
So that pretty much it plays hand to hand, right? It's kind of like a seesaw. You gotta balance it. You gotta have a good website and you gotta have good traffic coming in.
Yeah. For the people that don't know what SEO is, which stands for search engine optimization, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Like, like, tell us like why is it so important? Like, what it does? What is SEO?
Yeah.
In general?
So search engine optimization basically means, you know, the very simple way is Google your Google rankings, right?
Yeah.
And now search engine optimization is just not for Google, but a lot of people just specifically mention it for Google
In a way, it's
because
like a free marketing too, right? Like,
yes and no.
yes and no. Okay.
Yeah. So for search engine optimization, there's a lot of steps that come into bringing your website up on the rankings of Google. When a client of yours goes on Google, and Google's like everybody uses Google right
Yeah.
now, right? When a client of yours looks for a keyword, for example, sushi near me,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you know the businesses that rank there, right? That is pretty much search engine optimization. Is making sure that your ranking is placed higher than your competitors, so that when people search for you, you're listed higher and people can, you know, find you much more easier. And when it comes to SEO, there's two types. There's local SEO,
Yeah.
and there's also just the general SEO. The local SEO is the Google Maps section that comes on. So you probably see like when you're searching something, there's like Google Maps section that shows like these are results near you.
Yeah.
So that's a section that I'd recommend for a lot of local businesses that are like online e-commerce stores and stuff like that to really invest in. If they're like a physical location store, spending time into local SEO. And I'll briefly go into like what are the factors that
Yeah.
kind of dictate Google's algorithm as to SEO, right? Basically, it comes down to your website. You gotta have a really good website and make sure that it's optimized in terms of all the coding, in terms of the tags, in terms of how clean your website is, and how heavy your website is. The next thing is keywords. You got to make sure that you're using the keywords on your website and all that sort of stuff. Besides that is the business name, address, phone number. The business name, address, phone number has to be identical on every like platform that you use it, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, your website, your Google listing. They should all match. So once Google sees that these are the categories that match, the algorithm makes sure that this is the same business.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Google as a search engine, they want to provide the best results for their clients, right? So they want to make sure that when the client types in a keyword, their keyword is present in your business. They want to make sure that they're giving credible information, and they want to make sure your business is good. They want to make sure your business is in good standing, and they want to make sure your business can provide what they're looking for, right? Besides that, any sort of directories really help out. So offsite SEO is what we call it. So citations like directories, any sort of third-party blogs, and those sort of stuff really help your Google presence. And at the end of the day, a lot of people can do it themselves, but I'd definitely recommend hiring somebody when it comes to cleaning all the SEO up, especially if you want to get fast results and go up there.
And SEO works for any types of business, right? Doesn't have to be a physical place, or what if it's like an online store, or let's say a YouTube video like searching for my podcast.
Yeah, 100%. So SEO doesn't really have to be local at all. It can be like an online thing as well. And like you mentioned, your podcast, there are SEO algorithms on YouTube as well as to higher listings and different stuff based on your niche, based on your keyword. And YouTube's algorithms are a little bit different than Google. But yeah, at the end of the day, it applies the same like foundations.
That's good to know. You have any questions?
Damn, that was they probably learned a lot from the of you, like they probably learned a lot from you speaking, so that's very good.
Yeah, because what was it, a few years ago, my story was like I opened a Shopify online store, and it was all like like you're for drop shipping and all that stuff. So I was drop shipping. What was it? Women's apparel.
Really nice.
It wasn't my own brand. I was drop shipping from,
Yeah.
I'm sure, from AliExpress somewhere. People probably know.
How many years ago?
I would say, to be exact, maybe about, it's 4 years now.
Okay, so I think you got in at a good time of like
Early
dropshipping.
2017, yeah. Because funny thing is, the way I got into dropshipping and Shopify is I was like, just like you, I was like searching like how to get rid of my 9 to 5 job, man. The first thing that always popped up was like digital marketing and Shopify, and like online store.
Yeah.
That you don't even have to worry about physical inventory. So this dropshipping was the top way to make money. So I was looking into it. I opened my own Shopify store. They designed it and all that stuff. Did the SEO a bit myself.
Yeah.
A few months down the road, only got one sale, man. Like one sale, and was for a lady from Australia.
Nice.
So I did the drop shipping. After that, she received it. It took like forever, like when you drop shipping products from like China, man, it takes like 2 to 3 weeks. And those customers in Australia, it's not gonna wait that long. So what happened was they canceled it midway, man.
Oh, that sucks.
She emailed me, she said, "Can I have my refund because this is taking way too long, 3 weeks." And to be honest, my store wasn't like the outline itself wasn't that attractive. If you show it to me right now, I would say it's like sketchy as hell, man. I was like, I'm not buying from this
Mm.
online store.
Yeah.
And looking back at it, I made so many mistakes that if I go back now, I know what to do because I learned so much from free resources like YouTube, a bunch of other small courses I took as well.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing is, practical experience when it comes to it.
Yeah,
It's like the YouTube's good, you gotta experience it, you gotta know what's doing good, what's not, and just apply it, and then, keep at it.
yeah,
And
keep,
I'm sure if you start another one at this time, right? Even though dropshipping is kind of
yeah,
dying down,
it died down a bit.
but
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure what you do is a lot different than what you did before when you started.
yeah, and I feel like I went in way too quick. I should have like researched what a trending product is, what niche should I get into. I didn't do that. I was so excited, man. I was like, let me open this up, put all the items on it, and start selling. I thought I'm gonna sell the next day, but no, that's not the case though.
Exactly. A lot of people think once their website's up, people are just gonna,
Yeah, because
start ordering.
if that was the easy way to make money, I'm sure like 99% of the people would have jumped on it. But no, it's requires a lot of hard work and dedication.
That's interesting.
And yeah, like you said, practical. Like now I learned if I open a new online store, I know what to do.
Yeah, as actually something that I was really looking at doing is starting a um free online course in terms of making your own website. So that's something that a lot of people really come up to me, and they think that, making their own website's very difficult. Again, it's yes and no,
Yeah, yeah,
but I think now in this day and age, for people that don't have the budget of hiring, a web designer or something like that to create them a really high end website, is that there's tools out there 100% for anybody to, just like yourself, like especially on Shopify. They make it really easy for you to, get started, get up and running, and all that sort of stuff. So that's something that I think I'll definitely be looking at starting and incorporating soon. I actually started a YouTube channel.
oh
um
really
I,
nice.
I had a YouTube channel during the pandemic. I was starting. I put out one episode out, and then I got busy. So,
What is it
creative.
about?
It was about digital marketing,
Oh, okay, okay, I
and,
see.
I wanted to put out there like information based on, my learnings and, my practical experiences to, help businesses out there, the small businesses that don't really have the budget to hire somebody, and just go on YouTube, because at the end of the day, that's how I learned, and I want to,
Yeah,
give back.
because at that when I opened my Shopify account, I had no capital to like go out and find a digital marketing agency. I paid them 1,000, 2,000. So for somebody like that, like has no capital and like investing in social digital marketing, like what's the best way you think for like somebody who has like zero capital or like a little bit?
So if they're starting drop shipping, right, at the end
Yeah,
of the day, there's not much investment in to start off with.
yes, not much
You probably pay the Shopify fee,
fees
$29 per
per
month.
month.
You
Yeah,
get your domain, $15 per month.
yeah,
You get like a 2 week trial, and then, you got 2 weeks to make your Shopify store. That's what I usually tell people: take the
yeah,
trial, make the Shopify store, make it ready, and then launch it out. And to start off with, I'd really recommend that focusing on influencer marketing
yeah,
as a Shopify store. Um, Influencer marketing, and also doing Facebook, Instagram ads is very uh, key to, like, kick off your Shopify store. You're gonna need probably about a $500 investment if you want to, get up and running. But I know a lot of people that can, get started at like $100 or less, even to get started. It ultimately comes down to your product, your market research, and, how you started off with. But
yeah,
if you find like a couple influencers, give your product to them, or maybe get them to like give you a shout out, you can find people from different budgets, and that's the beauty of influencer marketing. You can
Yeah.
find someone for $20. You can find someone for like $20,000, right?
It's funny you brought that up. I did that on Instagram, but the problem with that was like I found somebody that was like $40, but the guy lived after I found out the guy lived in India somewhere. So when he did advertise it, the people that came inside the market in the store was all Indian folks, probably his own circle of people,
Yeah,
just to satisfy you like for their service. But at the end, I was like, the algorithm, this whole SEO is now is like moving towards the Asian side, so nobody's gonna like buy it. Like if they see like $29 for an item Canadian,
yeah,
it's big money there.
it's
So
huge money.
so
That's
there's
like
no way. The
food.
first thing they're gonna do is cancel the
Cancel it.
cancel the button.
Yeah, I
But,
mean that Indian apparel they could probably get for like a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
You know.
So that was the thing with the influencer marketing, and like I started like going way down. Like then I just decided to just close the whole thing, and maybe down the road start fresh again. But you gotta give it a try. Like people like always talk about like fear and risk, but I only like spend like maybe $200. People spend it on like useless stuff,
Cigarettes.
cigarettes, you name it, man,
Food.
drugs, yeah, brand name apparels, but
Yeah, definitely
But,
investing in yourself is
investing in yourself. Now I learned. See, if I hadn't, and if my fear and the risk like kept me back, I would never know like what it feels like to be an owner of an online Shopify account.
that's great. Yeah, and
So-
a lot of people, they tell me like, okay, I'm in school right now, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm paying probably $40,000 plus for my degree.
Degree, yeah.
At the end of the day, the things that I learned through my businesses, right? I would definitely say that I wouldn't be able to learn that at school, like
Yeah,
100%.
that's what I told my other few guests that came in. Like, I think I've learned way more doing practical and working at the career that I'm studying for,
Yeah,
way more than being in school and just listening to professor talk, man.
exactly. Because it's a lot of theory, and at the end of the day, it's good to have that theory,
Yeah,
right? But having a practical experience and knowledge is definitely like night and day when it comes
yeah,
to
yeah. People need
business.
to also like balance it. Some people like they think the only way to make money or be successful in life is to get a degree or PhD. But it's not the case because I worked at Save on Food back in the day, and a lot of the people that were there, I asked them like what they studied. There was a lady that studied her PhD in architecture engineering, and she was working at minimum wage.
I see that a lot. Yeah,
And there was another guy who had his BBA, and he was like a general clerk at Savon.
mm-hmm.
And that tells you like it's not always like your degree or that. It's just at the end of the day, man, it's just a piece of paper.
Yeah,
But
That's
to
true.
get the practical learning and stuff, I'm sure like a lot of people that look for jobs or search for jobs, you'll see. Maybe back in the day, education was always top qualification, but now it's like experience, experience, experience.
exactly. I always say experience plus who you know
Yeah, yeah,
is now very key. Right now, I know a lot of people that have good connections that just land their way at the top
yeah, yeah.
without having anything behind them, right? So at the end of the day, it's who you know, your experiences, and right now probably your education is supplementary.
Yeah.
But don't take me to it. If you guys want to study, for the young audience, I'll
Yeah, if you
definitely
want to study, yeah.
definitely say go to school. It's
Yeah, at
good.
least get some sort of certification. I'm not saying drop out.
Yeah,
Great
I don't want
pen.
to. I don't want to tell anybody to drop out. So
You know,
cut that out.
yeah. So, yeah, that's not the whole goal here, but it's just that at the end of the day, you gotta balance both ends, practical and educational.
At the end of the day, having education is good security for you.
Yeah,
So have that there. But nobody's to tell you you can't go to school and start a business or like hustle.
yeah, yeah,
So at the end of the day, my message to all the young audience out there, just hustle, put your time into yourself and invest in yourself, take risks, educated risks. Don't put your whole life on the table, but
Yeah.
definitely, spend time and, especially when you're young. When you're young, you have a lot of time on your hand. You might not have a lot of money, but you have a lot of time,
Time, yeah.
and you don't have much risks involved when you're young. When you're young, you don't have a wife, you don't have kids, you don't have all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Get
No,
all
no
your
responsibilities,
do
yeah.
all your risks, like invest in yourself, all that stuff when you're young, and by the time you're older, hopefully you can set up a base for yourself, or
Mhm.
have that practical experience, that those failures or that experience in the back of um, your hand, and then you can maybe start something successful. If you succeed on the first try, that's amazing, but if you don't,
Yeah,
just
keep
keep
trying,
going.
yeah. That's the fun part of like being an entrepreneur or business owner. The failures, comes with it. But the most beautiful part is like, maybe the 10th time you'll succeed and you'll look back at it, you'll see like, wow, this the whole 10 failures was worth it. But yeah, how old are you now?
23.
Okay. So 16.
Wow.
You started at 16, not too that far away, right? But
Six
a lot
years
of
six
16-year-old
Right.
people, man, they're like at that time or now, I'm sure they're more focused on playing Fortnite than
Yeah, but you know what? Something that I found is when you start a business when you're young, you get a lot of more opportunities
yeah.
coming your way when it comes to government grants, when it comes to businesses, right? I found that a lot of businesses were happy to invest in me and use me because of my age, and um, kind of be more lenient when it comes to
Yeah,
me, right?
yeah.
As you get older, now I'm 23, and you don't have as many opportunities as you had before. So just starting young in whatever craft that you have is always really good. Right now I see kids at the age of 8, 9, 10, coding and like mastering Python and
Yeah, yeah.
CSS and making apps and all that sort of stuff. So I'm like, okay, that's crazy. When I have kids, that's the first thing I'm gonna do
Yeah.
is make sure that they go after a craft that they like, and really make sure that they learn it at a young age and really go after it. And I think it's those things, those disciplines and stuff that I learned through business that
Business, yeah.
at that young age that kind of really helped me out
Mhm.
today, which is really good.
Nice, nice. You have any questions?
So as you said, take risks, right? When you're young and stuff like that. That's good that you're telling people this because right now I'm 21, right? So I'm young at this age, and yeah, so I've met Abdul,
Yeah,
and this guy I've met him, so he started showing me investing, stock market,
yeah,
and everything.
Yeah,
So
that's what I always do, man.
so
I was
yeah, so he motivated me to start doing that, and like he helped me a lot, and like how my friends from the old days, um, they're we just like party all night and stuff like that. Yeah, so when I met him, everything changed, right? So I stopped hanging with my other friends, and
right.
I'm up to like to learn better things of investing and
more
stuff like that.
productive.
That's
More
good. So he's
productive.
a good
So
influence.
so he's a
Yeah.
good influence. He's a good friend.
Yeah.
So
That's what I try to do when I meet like other people. Like, there's another guy who does a podcast. He got inspired when he watched when I brought him as a guest. Go, I should do my own podcast. I told him you're natural at it. Now he's just like an 8th episode in now
Oh, there you
as
go.
well. So
Yeah, and that's something very key. Like behind successful people, it's like your circle of who you work with and who you collaborate with, and that's very important. It's finding the right circle around you, and that's really good. So you said you're 21
yeah.
now. What do you have in terms of? Do you have any plans going on, like for you
Oh yeah. Yeah. Basically,
in
one
five
day I want
years?
in 5 years
What do you want to do in 5 years?
start a YouTube channel. I don't
Okay.
know, maybe start with vlogging and stuff like that, and then I'll start doing like I don't know, and doing gym apparels and stuff like that. Hoping for that. Um, Also just grow as a business on YouTube because I'm very young and stuff like that. I'm good at editing.
Have you started it
Um,
yet?
I did start YouTube, but I stopped. But overall like just learning, still learning, and like maybe like one day I'll start like
yeah, he started it, but there was a big gap, I guess. then I don't know what the gap was, but yeah, I told him like start it again, like
Yeah.
2021, fresh year. Like you're always gonna have your ups and downs, but in life, but you have to like move on in life. You can't just let it stop you.
Yeah, I definitely recommend also starting off on TikTok and going into YouTube
Yeah,
as a route if you're looking into becoming a content creator. I just at this stage it's so much easier to grow on TikTok versus YouTube.
yeah.
Like
TikTok is huge now. Yeah,
the algorithms are much more easier to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely recommend, checking that out and really like putting time into using TikTok as a platform
For
that
sure.
that
It's
goes
a good
into
one.
your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I know many like TikTokers started on TikTok and then now once they create their follower base, move into YouTube, and they cash in their content creator fees, which are huge on both platforms.
it also creates like a funnel, right? Like, 'cause if you're like a digital creator on YouTube, you can use TikTok or Instagram. Because now Instagram has Reels and IGTV. You can create it as a funnel, and at the end, they can go to your YouTube channel. And
Yeah, it's funny you said like Instagram has been known to be the copycat of like the social media.
yeah,
They
Mhm.
took Snapchat story ideas. Now
yeah,
they're taking TikTok's real
TikTok's,
ideas.
yeah,
So
There was.
they're trying to keep everybody on
yeah,
Instagram, which is smart, I guess. But yeah, definitely
Instagram is probably the
start.
biggest
Yeah,
platform right now.
like start tomorrow, man. That's
yeah.
something
Start
that I
tomorrow,
always
yeah.
that's something that I always say. Like everybody tells me like, hey, I'm gonna start this like a year from now or 2 years from now. But what's stopping you from starting now or
Yeah, why even have a timeline that you're gonna start end of 2021? Like, why that big gap, anyways? There has to be a legitimate reason, man.
unless you
But
absolutely
99%
have
there's no reason.
like absolutely no time, which is rare.
Yeah, it's rare.
I would say that you could as a matter of fact like just start tomorrow and
Mm-hmm.
be serious on it and right now and just like he mentioned his friend started the podcast after him and right now it's on 8 episodes. You just need that little spark in you and then you just go fly off
Yeah,
and
Go
like
fly off,
yeah. The
yeah.
momentum gets to you. Then you like, like myself when I started. I was like one episode in. Okay, this feels good. I'm getting confident on how to lay out my podcast, and the momentum and stuff. Like it kept going.
yeah, the biggest thing is consistency too. A lot of
Consistency.
people
Yeah,
just stop and maybe that's something that you did when you started your YouTube
yeah,
channel in the beginning. You think a lot of people think okay it's gonna be instant results
yeah,
and for most 99% of
yeah.
people
There's
it's
no
not
way.
like that.
Yeah,
They'll see the results after they're being consistent for like multiple times. They're releasing consistently good content and then they'll reach it, and that's
yeah,
something that I noticed myself and through my experiences is I didn't put enough consistency into my businesses or whatever and I left too early, and that's something that is very important. I tell a lot of people.
yeah. That's a lot of. That's the one thing people should realize that you're not gonna get resolved overnight. There's no way. It takes like years, man, to get to where you wanna be. But don't expect to be a millionaire overnight or
At the end of the day, if you don't start now, it's like it wouldn't like the time is just gonna be a waste, right? And you won't learn anything from the
Exactly.
failures you have.
you're just
Yeah.
dragging yourself down.
A good example, one of my friends that immigrated here, um, you know, he came here. He had a little bit of time, but he went straight into work, and then we always had this discussion about when he wanted to go back to school to really go push into his career. So he'd always say, "Okay, next year, next year, next year," right? Next year came, next year came. All of a sudden, this guy got married. All of a sudden, he started having kids. All of a sudden, he had financial responsibility. All of a sudden, he had absolutely no time. Now he's completely stuck into his,
Wow.
day-to-day 9 to 5 job.
Yeah,
Plus, he's working too, so morning and night shifts, so that he can, support his
provide. Yeah,
family, provide for his family, and all that sort of stuff. And he didn't take that initial opportunity when he came out here, whether it be like fear of getting started or like he was a little bit lazy or whatever, but he really didn't get started in his education. He'd always say, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, and the famous saying, why start tomorrow when you can start today?
yeah. For me, later is now, man.
Yeah.
You just
So if
now.
anybody wants to, like, I'm sure there's entrepreneurs or business owners watching, wants to work with you, or you providing them services where they can contact you and stuff.
Yeah,
I'll
they
put the link in below anyways, but
for sure. Yeah, they can, check out on Instagram at Digital Egg. They can also check out my personal as well. You could probably put it in there.
yeah.
At Yosof Hakimi. And besides the company and the stuff that I do, I'm looking at starting to put out content for business owners, small businesses, and all that stuff on my page very soon, and YouTube channel. So just like you, I'm gonna, I'm taking my own my own the things that I said to you today. I'm gonna start tomorrow. I'm gonna start my YouTube channel back again.
Do
But
you work with creators at Digital Lake, or all your clients is like business owners?
we collaborate with creators.
Oh,
We
you
do-
did?
we
Okay,
we
okay.
don't necessarily work
Work
with
with them.
creators in terms of growing them out, but definitely if that's something that you need advice on and anything like that, we'll definitely connect on Instagram,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
can talk at like in terms of routes and avenues of how you can grow for sure, 100%. I'm always happy to work with other creators and like businesses or people that are young and motivated, because I've been in their shoes, and I've had mentors in my life that help me out really. So I think that's very important in the business community, like just like you, Abdul, like when you sharing your knowledge of like stocks and all that stuff,
Yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah.
to people around you. That's very important. And I try to share the small and like experiences that I had with other people as well, and at the end of the day, you know,
Yeah,
you give, you get.
that's why I put it on my Instagram story. It's not to like brag and show off, because there's nothing to see there besides the ticker symbol and the price of the stock. I'm not really showing my portfolio or anything, but because a lot of the times, like with our community and stuff, especially the parents, they don't know what the stock market is or how it works or
They just put in
how
their
you can make
saving.
money, right? Yeah, it's basically like Canadian typical mindset is just put your money in the savings, earn 0.02% out of it, which is pennies, and that's about it. But the the number one reason I put it is because to get other people inspired, and it worked. Like there's so many people like DMing me, like, how do I start investing, where to start, then I guide them throughout the whole way. That I tell them, if you have 500, 1,000, whatever is in your saving, I'm not telling you to put your whole life savings in there and later come back to me and say, yo, my money's gone, man. I got kids and family here to support. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not a financial analyst or advisor, so don't even like. I'll just guide you like how to open a broker and what industry to invest in, but that's about it as far as I go. I'm not gonna give you detailed stuff, where to invest your money. That's at the end of the day, it's your money.
we're using Questrade or what? Well, simple.
I use both for Canadian. It's well simple for because I used to do option trading. The only way to do options is Questrade. That's since then I've stopped options, so I'm just focusing on long-term growth.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, that's the way to go, man. Invest in yourself.
Yeah, 100%. You know, going back to my message, take risks.
Yeah, take risk, man.
Yeah.
You only live once, once you're gone, and you're not gonna get the chance back. So
Yeah.
now it's the time to do anything, man. Whatever you want to become a soccer player, go ahead, join a team. You want to become a business owner, find a way.
The team
Yeah, like
makes you make it.
those are like the basics of like getting to that footstep or that path you want to go to.
Yeah. I know you're very big in sports and stuff too.
Oh yeah.
How do you get into
All those knockout
A lot of
videos.
people tell me like you should become a sports analyst. Like I wish.
yeah,
Maybe like
when I see you on Instagram, I see you as the sports and the stock guy.
yeah, like those are two passions I have. Sports has always been number one. I've grown up like doing wrestling and basketball, and of course soccer. then I got in. I don't know how. Like now I know the stats and data and everything. Like it's been like getting to my mind. I even bought books like the
Are you one of those guys that do
biographies.
like fantasy and stuff? You do that?
I don't do fantasies, unfortunately. I just watch it and I can predict the team if they're gonna win, and I'll get it right, man.
There you
I'm
go.
not even
Data
capping.
analyst.
Yeah, and no, I don't know how I got into it, but it's just when you love something, man, you're gonna like stick to it, right? It's not like a one-time thing and forget about it. Like when you grew up in in a household of like sports and athletes, you're gonna fall in love, man.
Yeah, 100%.
But that's another way for you to keep for the young people to be on a straight path, not take the dark path. Sports been always like the number one thing, to get your mind off like any negative stuff. Whether it's the sport itself, the physical activity you do, it keeps away all the stress and depression away. And
Yeah,
plus, like the food we intake and stuff, it's not the best, but it's another way
that
to stay
Afghan
healthy,
food.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know, man. You don't want to be a couch potato.
yeah,
So yeah, have you gotta train your mind and your body. That's what I say.
100%.
Yeah. You can't just train mind and forget about your body, or vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'll leave all the links below, and hopefully people can reach out to you for
Yeah,
whatever things they need. I might even reach out to you once I open my own store again.
for sure. Yeah, I want to say thank you to you guys, for having me.
Yeah,
It's
thank you for
definitely,
coming, man.
it's definitely, really good to, take part in this podcast 100%. And, it's definitely a pleasure seeing some of the amazing guests that you have.
Yeah.
So I'm honored to, be a part of that panel.
Yeah.
And
That's what I tell my guests, man. Be the early ones once we like blow up YouTube.
yeah, I can say that, I was part of this podcast at
Yeah,
one
no.
specific time. So yeah, I'm definitely a huge supporter. I've been watching your guys' episodes coming in.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the next one that's coming out.
Thank you, man.
And
Thank you.
and then yeah,
Yeah, I'm still learning, man. But any like, if there's any like feedback or suggestions, like I'm not gonna like hate on it. I'll take back as a learning lesson and adapt to it, in my next episode. But yeah, that's about it.
sounds good. Yeah, and thanks for the viewers, the audience for watching.
Yeah.
I hope you guys could take something out of it, and
Yeah, I hope you learned
just
something. Yeah.
get the main important thing about the podcast is listening to everybody's story and taking out something out of it. And hopefully my experiences and the lessons that I shared today, although it wasn't many, I hope that it sticks with you, and it means something. So
And one last thing, digital marketing is the future, right?
digital marketing is the future, 100%.
Yeah.
In the future, they might, something might pass digital. It might become something else. So we don't know. But it's definitely
there's always going to be something surpassing, but I don't know about digital. I think it's going to surpass itself, man.
so yeah, everything is constantly growing. But definitely, invest in digital marketing, and it's the way right now, and it'll be the way of the future as well.
Yeah, especially to the sushi owner, man. Gotta get a website,
Shout
buddy.
out to the super owner. If you need me, you know where to find
Yeah,
me.
they know who they are, man. I even told them on the Google review, man.
Yeah.
I said you just missed out on a $50 order.
Yeah. Here you go.
But
All right.
yeah, thank you, man, for coming.
A pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks.